In the early days of Activate, it was basically that startup feeling where like two guys convinced a whole bunch of people to give them a few $1 million to support 8 crazy scientists.
And I got this email.
They talked about this program called M37.
And I thought it was like the coolest email I've gotten. Because it seemed like this mystery thing.
And it said they'll give you $500K to incubate your idea.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to that.
And that's how I figured out about what's now called Activate.
When Activate started, it was a new idea that scientists could be the leaders of startups.
We had written, I think, 15 grant applications that were rejected before Activate.
Maybe I need some help here. Like, I couldn't even get into iCore, which was supposed to be like, the launching ground for a lot of things.
They're in a place that without Activate, they wouldn't have the support to move forward.
I realized how much I just didn't know. It was a pretty soul-crushing experience.
I think Activate does a really exceptional job turning that spotlight from the pure technical aptitude over into being able to run a successful business thesis.
I came in not even knowing what a business model was, so I had to go around and be like, hey, what's a business model? Like, what does it even mean?
It is often way more hard and more stressful than you could have imagined. You do need to be obsessed with a problem enough that you don't have any other choice. If you're staying up at night thinking about a problem, you're probably in the right position to start a company.
How do we take a process that would take maybe a few decades to get to net zero and compress it so that it happens over the course of maybe 1 decade?
Transportation gets like $15 in investment in decarbonization per ton of emissions. Cement, steel, aluminum, fertilizer, they all got like 1 cent.
I really wanted to work on something that could have a bigger global impact.
I want to work on those 1 cent technologies that nobody's working on.
The attitude you need to have is like you're continuously going to be a student and you're going to learn something new and different.
When you're moving from a PhD to entrepreneurship, you have this moment of being expert and then all of a sudden you know nothing again.
It was super scary. I had a very stable job in academia.
This is something that Activate puts a lot of energy into, is identifying what are the mindsets that you need to be an entrepreneur.
Activate has been very accurate in the type of mindset that you need to have.
It's one of the reasons I like that Activate focuses on supporting the founders rather than supporting the idea or supporting the company, because sometimes in that journey you find out that what you're doing is not really the right fit.
When you support the person, you're kind of making a lifetime investment.
A lot of the pieces of technology that we applied to Activate with, we no longer use.
I had kind of decided that actually this fertilizer technology was going to be a little bit hard. And I went back to the drawing board trying to figure out, okay, like what else can we co-produce? And Activate, sort of gave me that freedom to do so.
And I think that's one of the great things about Activate is that there's no one journey. There's no one cookie cutter way to do what we're doing.
When you are a new entrepreneur, you're going to need all the help you can get.
What's the cliche? It takes a village. Activate is my village.
I realized how supportive the type of community Activate is.
The best part of Activate is the community.
We're all doing very different things, but we were all at somewhat similar stage.
What I really learned very quickly is that all founders go through the same general sets of problems, just at different times.
It's creating these communities where the entrepreneurs can learn from each other and lean on each other.
Basically, every success that we've had, whether it's from fundraising to the developing the technology, it can all be traced back to a connection that we made in Activate.
The community, the team, the friendships that came out of it, which are, I think, going to stay for life.
When I think about deep science, I think about trying to find new truths, trying to discover things that don't exist.
We are transmitting power underground without wires.
We've developed a specific technology and technique that allows us to do this on-site carbon capture in a very modular, easy to deploy way.
We provide new ways of inspecting battery cells for quality.
Qunnect works on entanglement distribution. It's a completely different way of thinking of communications.
That to me speaks to just the heart and soul of an entrepreneur, someone who fundamentally believes in a different world.
There's a lot of things that entanglement can enable, and To be honest, most of these things we haven't even thought about them.
Watching something they can't believe with their own eyes of like wireless power is moving through their feet.
We just need more scientists and engineers and technically trained individuals believing in themselves.
Activate turned me from a geoscientist PhD to a CEO of Terra.
Activate was the door that we walked through in order to get everywhere that we've gone.
They too can go become the CEO of their own startup. And that to me was a very powerful message.
We're at a really exciting point in our company trajectory. We're actually applying our microbes to agricultural fields across the Midwest and California.
If you don't start to transition these into the real world, you'll never know, what capabilities you get out of them in the first place.
We have moved the tech to, oh my gosh, this really works.
We believe that the world can look different. We believe it could be better.
The technology that we're developing today could be the fourth revolution that really changes what agriculture looks like.
This thing can fundamentally change how we make and consume materials.
Up until Activate started, there really wasn't a good support mechanism for scientists or engineers who wanted to do this. We're changing that.
Right, like I meet some of the fellows that are going through the program now, and just the energy and the excitement, that just gets me reinvigorated.
There's always that doubt, it could fail at 1,000,000 points, but you're like, it could work. It could be everything that we want it to be.
It really feels like Activate is firing on all cylinders, supporting pockets of innovation wherever it is.
There's so much potential, and you get to kind of be part of that creation process.
We've spent the last decade proving what's possible. Over the next 10 years, we're going to be scaling our impact and broadening our reach. We're seeing the sparks of new entrepreneurial activity growing up. That's the thing that is exciting, that there's a huge opportunity that is untapped.